Hey everybody, welcome back. It's a brand new episode of After Credits, the first for 2019. And today I'm talking about Glass, the new M.Night Shyamalan movie. Kind of caps off the Unbreakable trilogy with Unbreakable and Split. And this one sees the main, people of that trilogy kind of put together for the first time. Whether it's Bruce Willis's David Dunn, Samuel L. Jackson's Mr. Glass, or James McAvoy's Kevin Wendell Crumb, with 24 personalities, including the crazed killer, the Beast. After a weird little fight, they're all captured and put in this mental hospital where a psychologist, played by Sarah Paulson, tries to kind of break them down and figure out if they're really superheroes or if maybe it's a fiction of everyone's imagination. This one did not receive the greatest reviews when it first came out. And I think I'm the minority here because I really dug this film. I wasn't as hyped as some people were, big fans of Unbreakable and Split. Even though I like those movies, the trailer looked goofy to me, and I just came in expecting to kind of be disappointed by it. But instead, I came out with a strong appreciation of what M. Night Shyamalan's doing. He has become fully self-aware, and he realizes that his style, his aesthetic fits certain kinds of stories. So when you're dealing with a movie that's questioning if superheroes are real or not having a big budget and doing a lot of crazy close-ups, and you can kind of see all the tricks he's using to get around having a giant budget for visual effects. And I respect that. I respect that he's able to craft stories around his strengths. Some people are disappointed because the trailer showed a movie that people were expecting, and Glass doesn't give you that trailer until damn near the end. And so you might be disappointed by that, but because I knew that the trailer was coming, I appreciated a lot of what this movie had to offer. This kind of slow build, this mystery. You're really trying to kind of put the pieces together. The one criticism I can say that's just the strongest thing on screen is Bruce Willis just is dead for most of it. I mean, Mr. Glass is legit catatonic throughout most of this movie, and David Dunn is the one that looks like he has absolutely no pulse whatsoever. I counted maybe 2 moments when Bruce Willis showed a bit of life in this movie, but compared to most of his other direct-to-DVD showings over the past couple of years, it's still a step up. But I don't want to talk more about Glass and kind of non-spoiler mode. I'm going to get into some spoilers here. It's kind of hard not to. So if you haven't seen the movie and you just want to know final thoughts, scores out of 6 stars, just click on the time code right there. If not, let's get into it. I mean, look, you saw the trailer. You know that Sam Jackson is pulling a ruse on these people in the mental hospital. You just don't know how. And what's awesome about Sam Jackson's performance is that he's so damn committed to it. There's this great scene when they're having the 3-way interview like you saw in the trailer, and he's staring at the psychologist, but his head is tilted. And Shyamalan just is like, you know what? Let me show it from Sam Jackson's tilted point of view. Sam Jackson's just having a ton of fun. He can show so much in just him staring at somebody, but then twitching his eye or moving his mouth. You know, I bet you somebody's gonna look at the DVD and they're gonna see something like, oh, Sam Jackson's doing Morse code and he's telling her that she's a piece of shit or she's wrong or whatever. I heard a comment that in the interview scene, they were wondering, I wish Mr. Glass would have come kind of back to life and he would have talked and he would have challenged the psychologist, because she was kind of, proving wrong a lot of the notions Kevin and David had about themselves. Kevin, as Patricia, is basically saying, what about the iron bars? And the psychologist goes, well, we went down and investigated those bars, which are super rusty, and even I could bend them with a tiny crowbar. So it stands to reason that it should be easy for someone with above average strength to bend iron bars that way. So she's putting a couple seeds of doubt. And what some people were saying was, well, if Mr. Glass was there, he could have just broken down all that pretense and, he would have stopped that in its place. But then I thought, the point of the scene is not to convince the audience that these characters aren't superheroes, but instead to use the effects of trauma and that warped psychology to convince the characters. In that scene, you see, some of the personalities in Kevin's head start to kind of get swayed the other way. And that's what's interesting. Seeing, this horde, which in the last movie was like mostly aligned with the Beast, kind of in conflict with itself. And with David Dunn, this is one of the two scenes that I loved him in this. He has that flashback to when he was drowning as a kid. And, he is sort of questioning, like, did I drown, and did I think because I was insecure about, being bullied as a kid, that I wanted to build this persona for myself? And you can see in Bruce Willis's face that he's trying to put on a poker face. He doesn't want the psychologist to know that she's getting to him, even though she is. So seeing how our characters deal with trauma and are interrogated as such was a fascinating little scene. The other great Bruce Willis scene is, when he's walking with his kid and the kid's telling a story. Bruce Willis kind of one-ups him, and the kid goes, "Are you the kind of guy that has to one-up every story you hear?" And Bruce Willis is like, no, I knew a guy who was much worse at that. Dad jokes never get old. Whenever the film starts kicking off, I enjoy a lot of what Shyamalan is doing with the action, where he's kind of showing it from either a distance or from the point of view of sort of normal people that are watching this, because the movie is very much about how the rest of the world interacts with this notion of superheroes. So when you kind of see it from far away, like Mr. Glass is rolling down the hallway and the background is blurred, so you can see Kevin do all these crazy stunts without necessarily having to see the wires behind it, or, he lifts the car, the police tank car, whatever, but it's shot from the inside, so you don't actually see him lifting. I thought that was really cool, and it leads to that kind of payoff at the end of the movie whenever Sam Jackson releases the footage of all the crazy stunts out into the world. There is a doubt in our minds, based off the way that M. Night shot it, as to whether this could be real or not, because you never really see the feats and stunts being done until you absolutely needed to. Now, there are some people that are saying that scene in the beginning, whenever David Dunn and the Kevin are fighting. Can I just say the Horde? I'm going to say the Horde. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When David Dunn and the Horde are fighting, and they kind of like fly out the window, and it's like a 2-story thing. Some people are just like, dude, it's like a 2-story glass window. Like, they landed on the ground. Like, are you serious that they wouldn't be affected by that? That's one of those scenes that I think the way it was shot was kind of, I don't know if it was like too artsy-fartsy for that kind of thing. Maybe the artsy-fartsy kind of hid it from me, the notion of them jumping out a window and being fine. I've heard reports of people falling off of buildings, and, maybe they might be a little banged up or messed up, but they're still okay. I don't know, 2 stories is what, like 8 feet? That's not so high that if you land kind of in a weird way, you could make it work. I don't know. The supporting cast is okay. I wouldn't say they work all the time, but they've got good scenes. Whether it's the son being confused by the psychologist of whether his dad is a superhero, and that cool callback later. I think she says something about strong men being able to lift like crazy amounts of weight during stressful moments, like 500 pounds. And then he's at the gym, sees this dude just like pumping iron like mad, and he's like, maybe I am going crazy or whatever. I don't know. The mom has a pretty decent flashback with the tilt-a-whirl scene where Baby Glass gets kind of messed up in the amusement ride, which that sound design can be goofy, but I feel like the movie would be a lot goofier had you not had some of this. If you don't hear bones cracking whenever Kevin is like bear hugging a dude to death, it just looks like a precursor to a Brazzers video. But for me, the best supporting character in this movie is Casey. Whenever Kevin and Casey are on screen, that just kind of touched my heartstrings, really kind of examine their shared kinship to trauma. And it might be partial Stockholm, but I think because Casey wasn't kidnapped by Kevin, she was kidnapped by the Horde. She's trying to get to that one pure victim of it all, the dude that got completely messed up in the beginning and hasn't been able to, quote, see the light. And whenever they're on screen, it's just magic and chemistry, and it's glorious. Welcome back. Final thoughts. Scores at 6 stars for Glass. I thought this was fun. I came out of the movie a lot more hyped than when I came in, so, you know, I think some of that has waned over time, me kind of thinking about, maybe this doesn't quite work, or maybe this effect was kind of lame, or this choice of dialogue was super goofy in the moment. But all in all, I think I enjoyed Glass on the same level that I enjoyed Split. You know, that movie wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but damn if M.Night Shyamalan doesn't know how to make a fun, exciting thriller, or just a fun movie. It's a great, like, little piece of genre that doesn't necessarily look or feel or sound like anything else out right now. And that's what you get from, I dare say, an auteur filmmaker. Can you look at M. Night Shyamalan's movie through auteur theory? I guess you can. I think I'm going to give this a 4.5 out of 6 star. Just a good time. I'm definitely going to be picking this up, along with Unbreakable as well. I might have to... I've got a Blu-ray of Split, so if they come out with, like, a trilogy or something, I may just have to, like, donate that to the local library or something. You know, I don't like having doubles of DVDs. So if you like this episode, go ahead, like, share the video if you want, subscribe to know when we're putting out more videos, and I think I'm going to try to get a video out for that new Dan Gilroy movie, Velvet Buzzsaw, with Jake Gyllenhaal. It's looking like it's going to be fun. I think that one's coming out on Friday, so I'm going to try to get a video around then. I've got the video for Blind Spots. I'm going to be talking about Fight Club, a movie I've never seen before that y'all voted for, so thank you for that. But until next time, thank you again for watching. Y'all take care, and I'll see you later. Bye.